So we are looking at conditions that cause plasmolysis in plant cells. Now, one, when plant cells are surrounded by stronger solution, plasmolysis will take place. One, when plant cells are surrounded by strong solution, plasmolysis will take place, just as we demonstrated using filaments of spirogyra. Another thing that can cause plasmolysis in plants is when there is excessive transpiration. Two, when there is excessive transpiration. When there is excessive transpiration, that is, if the rate at which water molecules leave the body of the plant, if the rate is very, very high, especially in very dry seasons when the humidity is very, very low, and at those periods we have very high temperature, and the season of that period makes water molecules to leave the body of plant at a very high rate. So transpiration rate is very, very high. Then when water continues to be withdrawn from vacuoles of plant cell, then the plasmolysis will take place. Now, the third condition is when there is concentration of stronger solution in the gas cell. When there is a concentration of sugar or salt solution in the guard cell. Now we know that there are guard cells that determine when the stomata will open and close. So if around these guard cells we have strong solution, we have strong solution here around the guard cells, that determines when the stomata will open or close. Then if this is strong solution, we expect that there will be exosmosis, water molecules will move towards the strong solution from the weak region, and that one will always, it will always keep water away from the cells of the gas cell. And if that one takes place, this vacuole inside will shrink. Vacuole will shrink. So it will lead to shrinkage of the vacuole, and it will pull the cytoplasm away from the cell wall of the guard cell. Now, moving from there, we will also note that when plant parts are damaged, it could also result in plasmolysis. So the fourth condition that will result in plasmolysis is four, when plant parts are damaged. When plant parts are damaged, it can cause plasmolysis. So these are four conditions that could result in plasmolysis. If these conditions, if they occur in plants and nothing is done, for example, whenever there is excessive transpiration, due to very low humidity and dryness of the surroundings. Then if it does not rain, to take care of that situation, then the plant will wilt away. We call it wilting. The plant parts will wilt away, wilting, and later results in death of the cells of the plant. Now, we also want to look at turgidity in plant cells. Turgidity in plant cell. Turgidity in plant cell. Turgidity in plant cell. Now, turgidity is the opposite of plasmolysis. Now, turgidity is a process whereby plant cell, taking a lot of water by endosmosis when they are surrounded by hypotonic solution. For example, if this is our plant cell with its cell wall, and this is the vacuole, assuming that we have the nucleus there, then this one representing our vacuole, and this is our cytoplasm. This is our cell wall of a plant cell. Now, what we are saying is that in the other instance, when we are talking about plasmolysis, if this cell is placed in hypertonic solution, in a stronger solution, then we expect that water molecules will move out, and that will lead to shrinkage of the cytoplasm. But in this case, assuming that this is placed and it is surrounded by hypotonic solution, or we call it weak solution, then we expect that there will be endosmosis. Call it endosmosis. Water molecules will move into the cells, and that means the volume of the vacuole will increase. So, vacuole will increase in volume, and if that continues, if this vacuole continues to increase, it's going to continue to press the cytoplasm against the cell wall. It's going to create a pressure against the wall. So this one will occur all around the cell. So there's going to, if water continues to enter, there's going to be a pressure generated against the wall. That pressure is called Turgot pressure. So the Turgot pressure generated against the wall, is going to generate the pressure against the wall, and that pressure is actually known as Turgot pressure. Now, in this case, since the cell wall cannot break, the pressure will mount up, and that pressure is actually what is called turgidity. And this turgidity has advantage, especially in plant cell, because if endosmosis occurs in plant cells, it leads to the development of Turgot pressure, which strengthens the plant, because this pressure creates strength for the wall of the plant cell. And so if a lot of plant cells go through that, it's going to strengthen it. So in other words, it has been known that this turgidity provides support in herbaceous plants. So endosmosis will occur, is going to provide the support. So turgidity gives support to herbaceous plants. For instance, you see simple plants like Tylenol, the water leaf that is called Tylenol. This plant is very tender, and a lot of grasses that you see around, they are very tender. But you see them, they still stand erect. What makes them to be able to stand erect is the tuber period that is being developed from time to time in their cells. So generally, for plant cells, endosmosis, which leads to turgidity, is very, very beneficial. It's very, very beneficial. So as we have done now, we have seen an overview of what plasmolysis is and the effect of turgidity in plant cells.